Hi, my name is Gabby and welcome to my channel, Gabby on Paper. Today's video is going to be about my 2023 goals and how I'm handling them. So let's go ahead and get started. So to me, there are a few things more exciting than a brand new year. I love the idea of a fresh start. So I've always set goals for the new year. Unfortunately, I never achieve them. Very few times. I mean, there have been times that I have achieved them, but more often than not, I don't. So this year, I've decided to do things a little differently, and I'm going to break things up a little more. The first thing I decided to do was determine what I want my focus areas to be. I came up with 4 focus areas that I kind of want to tailor my goals around. The first one, of course, is finances. Then it's, how did I end up there? Minimalism. And that's for the lack of a better term because I'm not a minimalist at all. Oh my gosh. Next is self-care. And finally, it's adventures. These are the 4 areas that I really want to make sure that I'm working towards this year. Under finances, the things that I want to focus on are my Roth IRA. I also want to increase my savings. And then work on intentional spending. In 2022, my Roth IRA took a back seat. I think I only sent $500 to my Roth IRA all year, and it's the middle of December. So I really want to make it a focus in 2023. I want to increase my savings. I had saved up a good chunk of money in 2021 for the beginning of 2022. I was expecting, obviously, to move from Salt Lake City to Chicago. I knew that was going to cost money. I knew I would have to look for a job. And in all that time, I spent about 6 months unemployed. So I spent a lot of money, a lot of my savings. My savings have decreased significantly since the beginning of the year. But that was what I expected, which is why I saved up so much money. I want to start my sinking funds, which are my shorter term savings. Once I get those funded a bit, my intention is to shift priorities and focus a little more on long-term savings. And then hopefully by the end of the year, I've built up sinking funds, but also have built up more long-term, like emergency fund, house type, down payment and stuff. The next thing is intentional spending. I feel like this year has been a really, really spendy one for me, which is not good because I did not have money coming in for half the year. I tried, but I know I have a bit of a shopping problem that I'm trying to work on. And I want to make sure that when I'm out buying things, that it's things that I need, things that I want, things that I've saved up for, things that I've put more thought into than just going to the store and picking it up. Or going online and just clicking order and I'll return if it doesn't work out, which I do end up returning things, but I just don't want to do that anymore. Intentional spending for me would also be when it comes to like dining out. I think I want to try and cut back a little bit on how many times we dine out, and also just running out to get, a quick treat or an ice cream or whatever, because things like that do add up quickly. Under minimalism, and again, I'm not a minimalist at all. If anything, I'm more of a maximalist. Well, I'm somewhere in the middle. But I just want to have less. I feel really overwhelmed by the amount of stuff I have right now, and I don't want to feel that way, especially with us potentially moving at the end of April to a new apartment. I don't know if it'll happen or what will happen with our lease, but if we do move, it'll be helpful to have some months of decluttering under my belt already. So that's one of the things I want to focus on. I want to declutter. I've already started. I have a garbage bag with like 6 different pieces of clothing that I want to get rid of. The next thing is intentional shopping. in my finance area, intentional spending was like broad. It included shopping, but also dining out and treats and things like that. For the minimalism portion of it, I want to just stop bringing so much stuff into our home and focus on things that are useful, things I actually need, because I have plenty of stuff. There's few things I actually need. I'm not gonna say that I am not gonna buy anything all year, like a no buy or even a low buy, because I know myself. But I just want to take more time in really planning out the things that I do end up buying. So before the end of the year, I'm hoping to create a list of items that I need in my closet. For example, I need workout leggings. I'm down to only one pair, and leggings, especially when I work from home, it's something that I wear a lot on the weekends, after work, things like that. So kind of really focus on this list that I've prepared ahead of time, and finding the right item within that list, like finding the best leggings I can get from that list or the best work top. So just being intentional with the things I bring in. And then kind of to go along with all that, I want to use, oh my gosh, I want to use what I have. I have tons of markers, tons of pens, tons of stickers and washi tapes and sweaters and socks. So I just want to use what I have so that it makes the money that I've spent on it worth it. And then in turn, like as I use these things, I can get rid of items. Once I finish a washi tape roll, I can just throw it out. And that's one less item that we have in our apartment. If I know I'm not going to be using a set of markers, I can, declutter that and just stay with things that I actually will use and not feel the need to buy more. That's my intention with that. And kind of the last thing I wanted to mention about this minimalism section is that my boyfriend and I live in a small 1-bedroom apartment in Chicago. So I really don't have a ton of things. I used to be a lot worse, especially living at my parents' house, where there was what felt like an infinite amount of storage in our garage and then in the shed and stuff. Like over the years, I've gotten rid of a lot of my things, just tons of my things. But still, like it just feels like when I compare the amount of things that I have compared to what my boyfriend has, I have like 5 times the amount of things that he does. I would consider him more of like a minimalist, I would say. Not one that's like only has one shirt or whatever, but like the things he has are things he uses, and he doesn't feel the need to buy extra things, and he's just happy with what he has. And I just don't work that way. Yeah, I don't have a ton of things when you think about the fact that we live in a small 1-bedroom apartment, but our apartment is full and it's all my stuff, for sure. Like the most that I would say he has he has 2 sets of golf clubs, and his intention is like one for him, and one if his dad comes to visit, he can use his like older set or whatever. I bought him some shirts for Christmas. So he's like, oh, now I need to see what I can clear out of my closet. So he's pretty good in that way. I just don't want to get to the point like with my parents. They just loved things. Both of my parents. My mom had so much crafting stuff. It took us so long to get rid of our things. And then my dad was not to the same extent as my mom, but he still had a lot of stuff. And I just never want to get to the point because it was so overwhelming. The, 9 months that I lived at my dad's house after he moved out of the country, trying to declutter and clean and just get rid of items. It was so hard. It was so hard, so inconvenient, and it would only be harder here in Chicago because we don't have a car and we don't have a place to put a dumpster to dump out all of my things, so preventative. That's what I'm trying to do. The next section is self-care. And for that, I really want to get back into yoga. I feel like since I started my job in mid-September, I have kind of stepped away from yoga, and I don't want to do that anymore because I actually really do enjoy it. It's crazy. I really do feel better when I do it, and I don't do it for a while and then I do, like, I can feel like how much harder it is. Like my muscles just aren't there, you know. So I want to get back to yoga. As a form of self-care, I do like to listen to audiobooks. I just find them relaxing. It helps my brain like shut off and not think about everything I have going on in my life. So audiobooks are going to continue to be, I guess, important in 2023. Skincare is something that I've tried to work on multiple times, and for whatever reason, I just haven't done it. I literally do not have a skincare routine. It's so bad. Just wash my face like regular, you know, with regular soap. It's not good, but I want to come up with a skincare routine, and yeah, I mean, it's time. I am getting older. It's time that I start taking care of myself. I should have done this a long time ago, but here we are. And I hope that by including it in this video that I can hold myself accountable as I check in through the different quarters. Next thing is I do want to focus on getting massages. In 2022, I only got one massage, and that was in Salt Lake before we made our move here. And that is lame. Because I really do enjoy them, and they don't cost that much that I can't be getting them more often. What I like to do is actually find like a massage school to go to. That way it's even cheaper and I can justify it even more. That's what I did in Salt Lake, and honestly, like, it was really good. I've done students, advanced students, a licensed therapist, and I personally couldn't tell the difference, so that is fine with me. The next thing is journaling. It's going to be a big focus for me in 2023. I started off 2022 doing journaling, and I had a few bad days, and well, it was longer than a few bad days. It was like 2 weeks, I felt like. And then I just stopped. I stopped at the end of May, but up until May 30th, I did it every single day. So I want to do that in 2023, and I want to focus on it, and I want to do it all year and not just stop. And if I miss a day or 2 days or a week, that's fine. I can still pick up after, you know, that week off of journaling. Under adventures, I want to explore Chicago. So my boyfriend and I moved to Chicago in February 2022, so we've been here less than a year, and we are completely loving it. We love the city so much, but we haven't really ventured out to other neighborhoods. Like, someone told us that you kind of just stay in your neighborhood once you're here, and it's true. So we go like 2 train stops in one direction, 3 in the other, and that's just kind of where we stick to. I'd like to venture out a little bit more this year. I also want to explore the Midwest. Go to Midwest cities that we normally wouldn't have chosen to go to. For example, Milwaukee. Milwaukee is supposed to be like an hour and a half at most away from Chicago. So I want us to do like a weekend trip up there and like get to know the city a little bit better. And the reason I say that ones that we would normally not go to is because from Salt Lake, I'd really have no reason to go to Milwaukee. It's not something that speaks to me that much. Like, yeah, I want to see it because it's a new city and I've never been there. But if I were living in Salt Lake, I'd rather go to LA because I like the sun and I like LA and I like the beach. And I'd rather go to London again because London is super cute, and I mean, who wouldn't want to go there? But I want to take this time to explore cities in our area that maybe we wouldn't have gone to if we weren't living here in Chicago. And the final part of adventures would be in international travel. I was originally going to say that we didn't go anywhere international in 2022, but that is a lie because we went to go visit my dad in his new country, and it's not actually a new country because that's where he's from, but he moved there 2021 maybe? I don't remember anymore, but he moved there like a year and a half before we went to go visit. And we were there for 2 weeks, and it was the best time, and the country is so beautiful, and he took us around, and we did have the best time. But that was a family trip. Like, we went to go visit my dad and his wife and her family, and I went with my boyfriend, my sister, and our friends. So it was a big group of. So we had one other international trip planned this year, and that was over Thanksgiving break to go to Cancun, but that ultimately did not end up happening. We had hotels booked, flights booked, all my money saved up, ready to go. I had even made a purchase for the trip, but last minute we weren't able to go. So this year I want to make that a priority, is going somewhere international. It doesn't have to be a new place, but that would be awesome. Could be Europe. Maybe we'll rebook Cancun. I don't really know. I still have my points, my credit card points that we used to book the hotel. Now both my boyfriend and I have flight credit, so we should be able to do it. It's just a matter of figuring out when. So those are my 4 focus areas for 2023. With that in mind, I'm actually going to be setting quarterly goals this year, not year-long goals. I feel like it'll be much easier for me to achieve them going 3 months at a time, because I just have no idea what my life will look like a year from now. Obviously, I don't know what will happen in the first quarter. Maybe something will completely happen. Maybe I'll be in a new city, a new job, whatever. I don't know, but it's a lot easier to plan for March than it is to plan for a year from now. Okay, and this is a section where I'm gonna color code it. It really, no reason other than it just looks pretty, and I wanted to add a little more color to this spreadsheet. So I'm just gonna color code it based on these focus areas over here. Okay, I just took a second to go through, write out my goals, and color code them based on the focus area that they fall under. So first I want to send $17.25 to my Roth IRA, and that is a little bit more than a quarter of the max contribution limit for 2023. Now, to be honest, I likely will not max out my 2023 Roth IRA in 2023 because the first 4 months I'll be contributing to my 2022 bucket. And then if I can, I'll send more to that this year. Next is I want to listen to 16 audiobooks, and that's obviously $5 per month plus 1. I think that is completely doable, so I will do that. This is the big one. No personal shopping, and this is both a minimalism goal and a financial goal. I would say falls under both categories. One, obviously no personal shopping will help me save money. And then 2, taking a quarter to not bring anything into the apartment for myself, I think will be the reset I need to get out of this mental thing that I have where I just need to be buying things all the time. And it's honestly, like I said, it's very overwhelming. I'm out of hangers. I don't want to have to go buy a set of 40 hangers that will just sit there staring at me, hoping to be filled one day. I want to journal every day. I want to do 3 yoga classes every week, and the classes that I'm referring to are just on my Peloton app. This would obviously be in addition to Peloton rides that I do, and any like weights that I do with my boyfriend. So this is just a separate thing in addition to some of the other things that we'll do. I want to go to at least one live event. That could be the ballet or a basketball game or a podcast show or anything. I want to reach 30 days age of money on my wine app. That would mean that I'm a full month ahead. Right now I'm at like 24 days, I believe. But that will change once I pay my rent. It always goes down. And I just want to get to the full month ahead and kind of just stay there. I think I should be able to do that by the end of the quarter. Next is I have a few items that I want to sell, just pieces of clothing and shoes and stuff that I've never worn before that are taking up room in my closet, and I'm not quite ready to just donate them. I want to try and sell them first. Like, one of them is a brand new pair of Doc Martens that they still sell that I've literally never worn, and I've had them for like 5 years. Another pair is a pair of Doc Martens sandals that I wore once, and I decided they're not for me. I have a Lacoste sweater that I bought and never wore because the color is not a color that I typically wear. It's not a crazy color or anything. It's like a cream. I just don't wear cream. I don't know. So I want to, at very minimum, have those things listed in hopes of getting them to new homes and getting them out of my apartment. And this is not a financial goal, if you can see here, because the intention of this is only to get rid of these items and not have them in my apartment. If by a certain time I don't sell them, I'll donate them. Next is to go to 6 new restaurants, and I want to try and cut back on eating out. We really shouldn't be eating out 2 times a weekend, which is typically what we do. So I like to go back to restaurants that I've been to before that I really love. My boyfriend likes to try new things, so I think this would be a good combination between the two. We go to new restaurants, but we also go to old favorites. Right now I'm dying to go to a restaurant called Happy Lamb, and it's one that we've been to before a few times, and it's a hot pot and it's so good. Especially with how cold it is right now. It would feel so good to go and eat. Maybe I'll go do that next weekend. I don't know. And then the final thing is just to get one massage. I'm hoping to get at least one massage a quarter. I already have the money saved up to get a massage, so it's just a matter of finding the right weekend and booking it. And that is it for my Q1 goals. What I'll do is I will copy this little chart, paste it down here or over here for quarter 2, quarter 3, quarter 4. And even though I am setting quarter 1 goals, I am still going to be setting monthly goals. Some of them will overlap with these things. But yeah, I'm still going to set monthly goals. They're just not going to be as big, obviously, as a whole quarter's goals. But yeah, that's pretty much it for today's video. I'm really hoping that by breaking up what would normally be year-long goals into smaller goals for each quarter, I'm hoping that I'll be more successful this year, because it's hard. I just don't know what I'll be doing or what life will look like a year from now. That's a long time. Thank you so much for watching today's video. If you haven't done so already, make sure you give this video a thumbs up and make sure you subscribe.